Okay, so,
Okay.
all right. Hi, everybody. I want to introduce my sister-in-law, Paige, and she has been along for, geez, all of the ups and downs. Paigey, how long have you been married to my brother now?
It will be, is it 13 years?
That's
Um,
what I thought. In a
in
couple weeks.
next week. Yeah.
Crazy. But before that, you guys have been together. I mean, you guys have been together for like
Years
50
before that.
years.
Not that
Yeah.
I'm, yeah.
So she's been in my life forever, and she is one of the most important women in my life. My favorite sister, just kidding, Alicia, but she is, her and Alicia are huge, huge support, loving roles. But in my world, I feel like everybody needs a Paige. She is the biggest bundle of joy and cheer. And like, I don't want to call you a cheerleader, but literally, you are the biggest hype girl anybody could ask for. Like, I love it so much. So anytime I was having a hard time, she would be like, okay, let's have a moment, but then you're going to go and you're going to get it. And it was so encouraging. And I was super, super grateful. And I wanted to bring her on here today to talk a little bit about her role and my journey from her viewpoint. So, Paige has two beautiful boys, my sweet little nephews. And while she didn't have infertility struggles, she did support me in mine. So, Paige, I think it would be great if you could just talk a little bit about what that was like for you.
So I definitely think it was, yeah, challenging because I did not go through any of it. And so it was like a whole new world to me. And I also had children way before most of my, if not all of my friends had children. So it wasn't like we were all talking about getting pregnant. No one was really discussing any of that. They were still like going to bars in Georgetown and all. So it was just like I never really experienced that part of life where everyone was trying to have babies together, which was
Right.
totally fine. But it was just my experience versus somebody else's. So yeah, when I started learning about the things that you were going through, um, yeah, to piggyback on what you said, I mean, I get a lot of energy from from making others feel good and being a cheerleader. So I'm fine with that.
Yeah.
And so that was really the only way I knew how to cope with it in the moment. And I think it was difficult for me to figure out when it was appropriate and when it was inappropriate to be a cheerleader or just, and being a cheerleader, I think kind of evolved from saying, yes, I'm so proud of you. Go girl. You're doing all the right things. Yeah, yeah, yeah. To shit, that sucks. Like
Yeah.
kind of
Yeah.
which in its own way is its own cheerleader. Just support is support. So yeah, it was an interesting. I mean, I think for me too, it was just really heartbreaking because I couldn't really fully understand what was going on because unless you're in someone's shoes, I think it would be very selfish or I don't know, self-involved for me to say I get what you're going through. No, I don't.
Hmm.
And
Hmm.
so yeah, just putting myself in your shoes and trying to figure out if I were in your shoes, what would I need or want. And I knew you already had Alicia and Ryan as kind of your, talk on the phone, really work through like very specific issues. For me, I was a little bit more on the outskirts, but yeah, just tried to show that I was there, send support, talk to my brother, or I mean, your brother about it,
Yeah.
like trying to get him on the same page. And so, yeah, it was really tough. I think, yeah, the hardest part was just watching you go through such a shitty time and trying to figure out how to make you feel better and Ryan, because yeah,
Yeah.
it's kind of helpless.
Yeah, I think you did such a good job of it. One memory I have, and we had so many conversations because for you, it was so important for you to learn how to navigate my feelings and also yours as somebody that I turn to for a lot of support and love. And each avenue that I went down was different with each person that I went to. But I remember one time you had just called me out of the blue with, I think it was Jack, just to FaceTime and say hi. And I was going through a miscarriage. And you dropped everything that you were doing. And I'm pretty sure I don't remember where you went, but I'm pretty sure you went in your pantry closet and sat on the floor and cried with me. And it was just what I needed in that moment. And when I say you cried with me, it was not that you were crying about the situation. You were crying because your heart hurt for me. And in that moment, I needed that person to be there and support me and have those emotions with me. And I was always so, so grateful and still am, um, that you were that person for me. So, you know, like you said, you didn't go through it, but what would you go ahead?
Say, I think one of the things that this just reminded me that I struggle with too is that I know you're in Wheeling. I know, you have your dad and he's wonderful, but, and you have Ryan, right? But there's a little bit of isolation going on there too. I think that's an important piece of your story that I wonder if when people hear these conversations, they're thinking, wow, look at all of this support she has. And I'm not saying you don't have a lot of support because you
Right.
definitely did. But I just want to take a moment to point out that I think proximity is an important piece of support when you're going through something so physical. And that's
Hmm.
my brain, I couldn't say, I'll be there in can I come over in 10 minutes? I'll be there in 10 minutes, right? It's like, I'll go into my pantry and talk to you, and that's the best I can do. So
It's
yeah,
amazing.
that's
Yeah.
that's a hard thing when you don't have people that are proximity close to you. I think
Hmm.
that's an added layer of an obstacle. Yeah.
Hmm. Absolutely. And I think you really tried to go above and beyond to let me know that you were there. And we're really good about seeing each other. And while we do live far away, we see each other. We're probably anywhere from like 6 to 10 times a year, depending on the year, which is amazing. But to know that even though we're not in that close proximity that you're talking about, that I could always just depend on you was really, really nice because those feelings are super lonely. And you did a really great job of that. But what would you suggest for somebody in your role, like who's going through it with a, a
Sister-in-law.
sister-in-law, friend, whatever it
Yeah.
may be? Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I think I'd pose that question back to you because again, I'm not in your shoes, and it's like I think the best I could do was to ask you, what can I do? Or,
Yeah.
just be the most authentic version of, maybe would be my answer. Like whatever the most authentic version of yourself is. So however you feel comfortable supporting someone and being that authentic support role for them, I think that's where, as a support person, that's where you need to step in.
Hmm.
Like don't Google how to support somebody during IVF because that's going to give you, I'm sorry, Alex, if you could just take the dogs outside, please. Or just away from here because I'm in the interview right now. Okay. Yeah. So I think just, yeah, tapping into that authentic part of yourself and what you think, like how do I support people best? Well, that is how I support people best, by being their cheerleader and showing them and telling them how much I love them. So I
Yeah.
would say that's a good call, instead of trying to find the right podcast or the right article on God knows what. Just generally speaking, I think when it feels good for you, it's reciprocated back. It's like an energy,
Hmm. Yeah.
transfer of energy.
Well, I appreciate all you did for me, and it was really important for me to bring you on here. I mean, you know what I'm trying to do with just exploring and expanding different versions of support and people who are in my circle just for other people. Because while I had a really great support system, it does feel super lonely at times. And I know that there were challenges for people who were trying to support me as well. I was thinking about, I talked about the situation with my sister, how that was really difficult when she got pregnant and I wasn't. Our story is different because Campbell and Jack were already here before I had even started down that path. So it was a whole different dynamic for me. But I know that there's a lot of women going through it, and I've had a lot of people reach out to me, like really grateful that I'm bringing in people in my life who are supportive roles because it's helping them know a little bit more what to do for the people that they love as well. So I
Right.
appreciate
Yeah, I
it.
love that. Yeah, that was a really hard time. I remember when, yeah, Alicia was a very happy and blessed time when she got pregnant and all the things,
Yeah.
but it was, yeah, you guys were pregnant together, and then, yeah, it was like that ended. And so, yeah, to be in the sister-in-law's shoes and support both of you in your own journey, um, speaks volumes, I think, about the two of you for letting me be that person still. And then, yeah, just supporting you both in your own special way. Like, yay, this is amazing. You're gonna have a baby. I've done that not that long ago. Like, let's talk about it, versus like, oh my gosh, Ashley, that sucks. Like, I love you. This is not easy. No one expects it to be easy. Like, if if I put myself in your shoes right now, I would be a hot mess express. So yourself some credit.
I know the one thing you always tell me is to give myself some grace, which I'm learning to do, but I do appreciate it. And I love you for all that you've done for me, for us, for now, for Connor.
You too.
Just
Oh,
incredible.
yeah, you're great. I'm proud of you for doing all this. I think it's going to be really cool. And
Thank
anybody out there in the World Wide Web that wants to reach out to Ashley, I'm just going to do a little plug for her because she's really good at listening to the details of your story and then giving her own like helpful perspective on it. And
Oh,
as she gets to know you, she'll be able to kind of navigate it better. So I think like, listening to these stories, listening to these conversations, but then reaching out specifically to Ashley might be really, really helpful for those kind of uncomfortable questions that you might want to ask. Because you're an open book about that, which I think is
yeah,
really
that means a lot to me. Thank you. And we could have our own little love fest here because we're obsessed with each other, thankfully. And we won't drag it on for the world, but I do appreciate everything you continue to do for me and for my family. And I'm very blessed to have you.
love you lots, girl.
All
Your brother
right.
now just started the garbage disposal. I'm on this. So
Thanks, Alex.
oh, we just went to the bathroom to do a smoothie because that's what that was. Okay. All right. Well, I love you. Sorry.